Hey guys, it's a public holiday today in the Czech Republic, but I'm streaming for you anyway. So hopefully this will be helpful. Please just excuse my, how to say, civil clothes. I'm not wearing a shirt today. I'm not wearing nice pants and nice shoes and everything. I'm in my everyday clothes. But hopefully the topic will be more interesting than my clothes and talks about my clothes. So let's go through that. Plenty of you ask us, of course, if you work with us, then we get to it at some point for sure with every case. But even people who just follow me on social media or who get in touch, ask about translations of documents needed for visas or residence permit applications. So this video is about this topic. So generally speaking, all documents you submit for any type of visa or a residence permit or temporary residence permit, permanent residence permit, whatever, employee card, blue card, all the documents should be originals or notarized copies, and all of them should be in Czech or officially translated into Czech. So this is a general rule, and if you stick to it, there will be no problems at all. No one will punish you for having the documents officially translated into Czech by a court-approved translator. There are some exceptions where you don't have to do that, but I'd still recommend doing the official translation every time. Of course, in some cases, I will go through that in a second, but in some cases it's a bit complicated or it might be a bit costly to do the translation, but still, I think it's better to spend a bit more money but get the visa approved than save like a couple hundred crowns or a couple $100 and then get your visa denied. So generally, if you quit the video now and you remember one thing, always have all the documents officially translated into Czech, then that's good. But now let's go into detail. So there are some exceptions when you don't necessarily need to have some of the documents translated into Czech, but that's really specific cases, and I would not rely on that. So first case, which is pretty common, is your bank letter showing how much money you have in your bank account or your bank statement. We've spoken with the ministry and they confirmed, like not the branches of the ministry, but we have regular meetups with high like representatives of the ministry, at least once a year, some years more often. And they confirmed that if everything is clear from the document, they will accept it in English or maybe some other language as well, even if they don't understand what's written there. What it means is that if it's on the letterhead of the bank, which says like whatever bank, Indian bank, Bank of America, or whatever bank, and then there is your name, and there is the amount of money, so like some number, and there is the currency, so like 17,000 US dollars or like 197 Indian rupees or whatever. When it's completely clear that it's what it is, that it's a bank statement and that you have this amount of money, then the ministry might accept it. But if the document is, for example, in Chinese, no one at the ministry speaks Chinese, or even other languages I think could be problematic, and definitely Hindi or whatever. In that case, I would definitely not risk it. I would not risk it even if it's in English and everything is clear, because then it depends on the concrete decision maker who will be making the decision. Some of them might speak English, they might understand everything, might be fine and might accept it. They do in most cases. But if they didn't sleep well that night, or if they are just by the book, by the law actually, they should not accept a document which is not translated into Czech. So always translate it if you can. If not, okay, the bank letter, if it's clearly visible that it's a bank letter, that it's for you and you have this amount of money there, okay, you can risk it, but don't be surprised if it's a reason to deny your visa, because by the law, everything should be translated into Czech. The other exception is a Slovak language, because Slovak is still accepted in the Czech Republic as an official language, let's say, which you can submit documents in. So if you have some documents in Slovak, then you can use them and they don't need to be translated into Czech, whatever kind of document it is. So those are two exceptions of when the documents do not really need to be translated. Other than that, always translate that. And now, how to translate it, or what kind of translator you should use. There is a big problem we face now with India specifically. I talk a lot about India and about Philippines because we have plenty of clients from these two countries, but we have clients from over 100 countries, and it's different in every country and different at every embassy you deal with. But these are the most, like the biggest problems, let's say, and they could apply to other countries as well. So that's why I'm talking about those mainly. So, for example, what happens in India is so all the translations you do must be done by a court-approved translator, Czech court-approved translator. That means that the translator must be registered in the Czech Republic with Czech courts as an official translator, which means that they had to pass an exam. They had to pass an exam to prove that they are proficient in that language, and they had to get like a special round stamp and like these special ribbons and everything. And only if the translation is done by a translator like this, you can use it for any official purposes. What happens in India, for example, is, or in some other countries as well, but in India specifically, is that you find a local translator in India. It can be even someone recommended by someone you know, or sometimes even maybe by the embassy or something. You get the documents translated by that company, but it's an Indian company. So even if the translation is correct, which often is questionable, because I've seen some translations like that, and the Czech was kind of like understandable, but not like 100% correct Czech anyway. But even if it's a perfect Czech, it's not a court-approved Czech translator, so the embassy should not accept a document like that. In some embassies, it works the way that as long as you have a translation into Czech, whatever kind of translation, even through a translator which is not like an official translator, the embassy can confirm that the translation is correct. They would put a stamp there and like a special sticker saying we confirm that the translation is good enough, and they would make it official, and that would be enough for the Ministry of the Interior. But the embassy of the Czech Republic in New Delhi doesn't do that. They don't confirm translation. So you need to have an official translation from a court-approved Czech translator. So that means not someone in India. The documents should be physically shipped to the Czech Republic. The translation should be done here. And then the physical document, the original document with the translation done by the official translator, should be shipped back to India and then used at the embassy for the visa process. If it's done in any other way, chances are that the embassy will not accept such translation. In different embassies, it works differently. As I mentioned, sometimes the embassy can confirm the translations. In some countries, there are even like official Czech court-approved translators living in that country. I don't know, I don't remember where it was, but we recently had a case, I don't know if in the US or somewhere, but there was a lady who lived in there and who was recommended by the embassy, and she was actually a court-approved translator. So even though she was in, I believe it was US, but might be a different country. So she was able to provide the correct translation because she had all the stamps and all the ribbons and everything. She was an official translator. But it's not the case in all the countries. So definitely, if you're not Indian, which I'm talking about now, definitely verify with the embassy first, like what kind of translation they will accept before you go to the appointment and submit your application. But generally, everything should be done by a court-approved translator, which in most cases means that you will need to take the physical document, ship it to the Czech Republic, get the translation done here, and then ship it back to the country where you're applying for your visa or residence permit. Of course, we offer this service as well. We don't really like doing it separately. Like if you only wanted to do translation from us, we don't really like it because it's too much work for like too little money. Honestly, because we don't really charge anything extra for our clients, just what the translator charges us and VAT on top of that. But that's about it. So we provide it as a service for the clients who go through us for the visa process. So as part of the visa assistance, let's say, we help with the translation. The translation cost is not included, but we don't charge like anything extra. But if you if you want to get translations done, we will be happy to do it as well. It's just not the main thing we do. We just do it for the people who go through the process with us. Now, I'm thinking if there is something else I should mention. Yeah, in some cases, the translation doesn't have to be official, but that basically only applies to the partnership visa applications, where some of the documents you submit are not official anyway. You know, for the partnership visa, you sometimes need to submit a statement of yours explaining your relationship, or statement of your parents saying that they know you and your partner and that you look happy and all that. So these are not official documents anyway. Like criminal check is an official document issued by the government and everything, so it must be officially translated. But if it's just a statement you wrote in hand or something, then it doesn't have to be officially translated. It can be just any translator, even without the stamp and the official ribbons and everything. But generally, the takeaway from this live stream is that ideally you should always have your translations done for all the documents you're submitting, and it should be done by a court-approved translator of the Czech Republic. That's it, guys. Enjoy the rest of the holiday day. Have a good night, and see you again Monday, Thursday, until the end of the world. Bye-bye.